The government did now shut down after Democrats and Republicans couldn't reach an agreement on federal spending. Joining us now with the latest, trying to understand what happens next. Jake Sherman is Punchbowl News' co-founder. He's the NBC News and MSNBC political contributor. Good morning to you. So the question is, what does come next? What does come next, Jake, at this point?
It's a good question. I mean, Republicans are pretty insistent that they're not going to cave, and they feel like they have the upper hand. They have passed a clean funding bill to extend funding until November 21st. Democrats effectively want the extension of these COVID-enhanced premium subsidies for Obamacare. They're not going to get that. Republicans are not going to cave. And we saw last night, Andrew, that two more Democrats voted for the clean CR when Republicans put it up. So John Thune is going to go to the floor today and over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and he's going to keep putting up this bill and hope that more Democrats fold. So I think that's what's going to happen. There's not going to be a deal. I mean, the deal that's going to take hold is the deal that's already on the table, which is extend government funding for 7 weeks. And have this fight again in 7 weeks, or have some sort of fight over the next 7 weeks. And I'll just add this, what Democrats are demanding here, the extension of these enhanced tax credits for Obamacare, Republicans are not for that. This is not like an appetizing, usually you shut down the government because there's something that you want that you think the other party will be interested in. Here, Republicans just plainly aren't interested in that. So I think this fight is gonna end in the next week or 10 days, and then it's going to be rejoined again over the next 7 weeks.
But what is going to be the tipping point? What is the pressure point, and what do the Republicans have to offer? Anything? Can the Democrats
they don't.
somehow walk back from this and just say, "Oh well, would they do this? We're not doing this."
Would they do this if Schumer didn't acquiesce, Jake? Would they? Are there guys that would split? I mean, I guess a couple already did, but would they split off from the minority leader? And what would that do to Schumer? That's even worse in terms of primary challenges if he can't control his fellow Democrats. Could that happen where you get to 60 and he still says don't do it?
Well, you bring up good questions, Joe, and I'll say a few things. Number one, I don't think it's guaranteed that Schumer runs again. I think he's not up until 2028. So, like, a primary challenge, I think, is obviously what people are talking about. I don't think that really matters. Well, now, listen, it does impact his standing in the Capitol vis-a-vis what kind of power he has, what kind of power to control his members that he has. I think that's important to think about. Now, you are seeing fraying around the edges. Senators are generally more free agents than members of the House. Just generally speaking, they have more power. They have more sway over the process. I don't think Republicans have to offer much. And the president and J.D. Vance and Mike Johnson and John Thune have basically said we're not going to offer anything. And this is the deal that's on the table. We're happy to have the conversation about these subsidies, about these tax credits, but not in the context of government funding. Now, I don't want to. We can't let Republicans get on their high horse here. They have forced conversations similar to this during shutdowns. They have tried to hold the government hostage on many occasions and successfully did twice. So they're not better than this. But I just don't see any situation in which Republicans are going to negotiate right now. I mean, Thune has momentum. Catherine Cortez Masto of Nevada, Angus King of Maine, and John Fetterman of Pennsylvania all have voted now for a clean CR. So we'll see if that number grows the next time. And the tipping point, Andrew, is exhaustion. I mean, you could argue back and forth the economic impact of a shutdown. I think it's over a week, it's relatively minimal, but as time goes on, it grows and grows. But people get exhausted of not having the government open, of services not being available, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that pushes people to reopen the government.
Hey, Jake, yesterday we had Mike Johnson on, the House Majority Leader. Speaker Johnson. And then we had on Hakeem Jeffries, the Minority Leader. And it was kind of crazy to watch what the two were saying. Johnson laid it out. He said, this is a clean CR. They want to give health care to illegal immigrants. Hakeem Jeffries came on and said, those are lies on both counts. You just called this a clean CR. Where do you come down on the rest of these issues and the rest of how this kind of shakes out?
they don't want to give health care. It is a clean CR. Like, I would be happy to whack Johnson if there was something to whack him over here. This is a clean CR. They are not playing games for the first time. Republicans are not. This is a relatively clean CR. It doesn't include the priorities that Democrats want, but that does not mean it's not clean. That's number one. Number two, Democrats really don't want to give health care to illegal immigrants as part of this process. It's illegal for immigrants to get these health care benefits. You could argue that there's fraud and they do get these health care benefits. That's not what Democrats are trying to do. What Democrats are trying to do is they're trying to roll back some of the cuts and some of the provisions from that one big beautiful bill.
It's not fraud. It's not fraud. They do it under the light of day in California. 1.6 million under the light of day. Just happens to be state funds that are it's fungible. They are federal dollars
Joe,
going.
Fine. Let's accept that argument for argument's sake.
It's just not fraud. It's done under the light of day through loopholes, which were closed.
Let's accept that argument.
Okay.
Democrats in this process are not trying to give health care to illegal immigrants.
They're not trying to make it legal to give federal dollars. That's true, but they are. But federal funds are ending up covering illegals' health care. That's millions of them.
Fine. If you want, we could. That's not what Democrats are trying to do in this process. Is my only point. Whether they do in California or not, I am an expert on many things.
Many other states.
Yes, I understand. Democrats are not trying to do that in this process. Now, the main disagreement here is over these tax credits for Obamacare, which Republicans rightly argue were created during COVID. I will add this. There are a number of Republicans, not a lot, a number of Republicans who will want to extend those tax credits. And it's going to be a problem for Republicans if you see healthcare premiums jump 75%. I understand Democrats put these in place, but Republicans are now in charge, and there's going to be a big effort to try, if the government reopens, when the government reopens, there's going to be an effort to try to reinstate or tweak some of these subsidies to put them back into place.
Okay. I think we're going to leave it there, Jake. There's not much to know at this point. A lot of speculation. We can
We should know the government is shut down and it will reopen at at a date we don't yet know.
Well, Jake, the next thing is if we have mass firings.
That's right.
I think the mass firings is the next piece of this.
Huh?
I'll add to this very quickly that the White House has said, Trump said yesterday, he could cut benefits, he could cut programs, CBO said yesterday 750,000 people could be furloughed, and there's concern from Democrats the administration will use this opportionity to conduct mass layoffs.
There's concern from Democrats and glee from Republicans. It's so crazy. There are a lot of people that would love that. And I just wonder whether
Welcome to America, right?
Yeah.